Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to another set of videos here on YouTube. As always, my name is Zach, and today we're going to be playing some Pauper. I've been tinkering around with this format actually a great deal in the last few weeks, ever since it became profitable again, because they now pay out in M13 instead of M12. And the deck I've had the most success with so far is Delver, just mono blue Delver. And I find that's mostly because it lets you put on a very aggressive. It lets you play the game very aggressively while having like counter spells to stop what they're doing, ways to generate card advantage, and then like bounce spells just to push through the last few points. So I've been having pretty good success with it. It plays very differently than Delver and Standard, though, if that's sort of what you're used to. Like, obviously, you still have the lines of, pardon me, turn 1 Delver, turn 2 flip Delver, attack them, counter your stuff, and that's it. But here, you don't have any equipment or anything like that. It's just almost all flyers. You have Cloud of Fairies and Spellstar sprites to act as a sort of additional way of putting through damage, in addition to being able to counter stuff. Phantasmal Bear and Delver Secrets both give you 8 1-drops so that you can ninjutsu in a Ninja of the Deep Hours on turn 2, which is a very powerful play if they can't disrupt it. For your cantrips, you have 3 Gitaxian Probe, 4 Ponder, 4 Preordain. While Brainstorm is legal in Pauper, it's not exactly what you want to be doing, and pretty much because we have no shuffle effects in this deck, so I'd rather just have Ponder and Preordain, which lets you see more cards and manipulate our library a little bit more. And then Gitaxian Probe is very good for the information you can get from it. Really powerful against decks like Infect, where you need to know exactly how greedy can you be in terms of what attacks you can make and what counters spells you need to leave up. So stuff like that. Also fine against like Storm, right? The information can be quite crucial. For counters, it's 4 counterspell, 2 days, and 4 spell stutter. Note that you can also snap back your spell stutters, just to rebuy them and counter other spells. It's a line that comes up fairly often. I'm only running 2 days. Back a few months ago, there were lists that would run just 4 days, and I don't know if those lists still exist. However, days are really expensive. They're like 5 tickets or something, and I don't have 4 days. So, but 2 days is like also a very legitimate build that people play. So, I'm pretty happy with 2 days. You don't want to set yourself too far behind on tempo, and there are some matchups like against Post where if they just like play a Cloud Post in turn 1 or 2, then it just doesn't do very much. Or like Infect, where their spells cost like 1 or 0 mana. And then Spire Golem is really good because you can play it for very little mana. You most often play it on turn 3 or 4 for either 3 or 2. Either tapping out for it on turn 3 or playing it on turn 2 and leaving counter mana open. But late in the game, you can definitely cast it for free and do sorts of nice ninjutsu tricks with Ninja, just playing it again for free. The 4 toughness is actually a big deal. The only things that can heal 4 toughness creatures really that like are Flame Slash and then black removal spells. So against something like, or I guess also Electrostatic Bolt out of Post. So there are fewer ways to deal with this, and it blocks most of the relevant creatures in the format. For our sideboard, we have 2 annuls. These are for affinity. We have a Stitch Drake. I board the Stitch Drake in pretty often. Oh, oops. Don't know what that is. Oh, we have a match. Stitch Drake is for wherever you just want like another big body. The exiling creature from your graveyard is almost never really an issue. Curse of Chains is good against mono white because it lets you deal with Guardian of the Guild Pact if it somehow manages to resolve. Deprive is for like control decks like Post, where you just need another counterspell. Poster, I think it's fine against Storm. Dispel, again, it's like Post or Storm pretty much, and control decks where you want to counter their instance. Echoing Truth is for Infect and Empty the Warrens decks. Just because you can bounce their creatures that have Infect in response to a bunch of pump spells. Hopefully they don't have a Vines or an Apostle's Blessing. Hydroblast obviously for red decks. Piracy Charm is for any decks that play a bunch of X1s, and also like yeah. So that's like infect, goblins, even like the mirror. It's fine. Like a couple copies are fine in the mirror just to kill their delvers really early, and like their cloud of fairies and spellstar sprites. So yeah, I think that deck's pretty good. There's a lot of play to it, unlike some decks in Pauper, and I think you have a good shot at being able to play Magic versus almost any deck in the format, which is something I really value. So I'm going to stop this recording and we'll play that round 1 match.